So I signed up for the Dinnerville Handicap road race, and I signed up into group 4 of 7 groups, and I thought yeah, we'd have a really good chance of staying away and potentially winning this ride. Myself, doing time trial is something that I kind of like to do, and I thought it might play to my strengths. Pretty much straight away though, the pace was pretty hot. It was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, and so my aspirations of potentially getting sort of a top 5 finish quickly went out the window, and I just wanted to stay in the group. We were working pretty well together, swapping turns and yeah, taking turns to go to the front. The pace was often a little bit hot out of the turnarounds, but we tried to keep that, I guess, those surges to a minimum. As we were moving through rotating turns, we could see that we were catching up to groups ahead, so we continued working pretty even and not getting too carried away, to keep the group together. The course was made up of 4 laps, so it was approximately 84 kilometers in total. So each lap was approximately 20k, just over, and it was mainly made up of, I guess probably best described as coarse country road, very typical in Australia, very undulating, with one climb that was about a kind of 2-minute effort to kind of get up. So there was more rolling, undulating hills, so there was basically no free speed from just rolling. You had to constantly keep pressure on the pedals. They'd redone a section of the road which was particularly rough and coarse. Thankfully it had been swept, so a lot of the big rocks had been removed. So near the start finish area, that was probably the smoothest section of the entire course. The first time we went around the turn before the hill, I almost found myself getting dropped as the concertina effect went, but I tried to make sure from then on that I wasn't too far back when we went around anything to avoid those massive surges, which for me, being a triathlete, I really struggled with because I don't train for them. Two laps down and we were travelling okay, although we could see that the group behind us, which was group 3, was starting to close up on us. So starting our 3rd lap, so that was good for us. We're still working pretty well as a group 4. So we actually caught and passed some of the slower groups. Although we could see the inevitable that Group 3 was going to catch us, they finally caught us on the one climb in the course, and from then on, the pace was a lot more constant and pretty high. Right here, I went to the front of the group after Group 3 caught us, and I was thinking in my head, what on earth am I doing this for? It's, my legs were getting pretty painful at this point. They wanted to say stop, and all these surges that 350 to 400 watts, it just hurt. So, but I kind of wanted to do my part and share the workaround, keep the pace high. Unfortunately, my GoPro died for some reason. I still had battery life, but it had cut out. So the final lap, I knew that the final turn before we headed back to the finish line, that was going to be quite a key point. So I tried to make sure that I wasn't too far back in the turnaround, and then still the inevitable happened. We were attacked out of the U-turn by the Centennial Park guys, and the pace was pretty hot, so it was a max sprint pretty much for me to just jump back into the group, which I caught just at the base of the climb. But I kept pushing on to move up to basically the front of the group, because I know that I'm not the strongest climber, and this allowed me to move back through the group and hopefully hang on basically on the other side of the hill. My plan worked out, so I was able to just stay in touch with the group as we crest the hill, and with the draft effect on the downside, I was able to recover somewhat, although moving up was very challenging. I knew there's a slight climb into the final finish area, and I just, again, wanted to move up so that I didn't get dropped. It wasn't my intention, but I found myself, when I did finally find some space on the left to move up, the group sat up somewhat. This is just before the last hill climb with, I guess, 1k to go. And so with me moving up, I carried momentum, and I ended up shooting out in front of everyone, which, being a triathlete and not a cyclist, I thought, well, I've got no sprint anyway, let's just keep going. So I was all in at that point. Just trying to hold. I was holding about 320 watts. So about 800 meters from the finish line, I was thinking, oh, maybe they're going to sit up and basically try and decide who's going to actually close the gap. 700 meters, I was thinking, oh, maybe potentially I could win this. And about 600 meters, I heard wheels coming. 500 meters, the group caught me and promptly dropped me. I felt the draft, and then I felt it go. And they just passed me like rockets. I was still holding my power, actually. I was pretty surprised looking in retrospect. Anyway, I finished 20 seconds down, I think 21st overall, but basically the next person after the bunch sprint. Whole lot of fun. I would highly recommend doing it if you normally just do triathlons and stuff. Jump in some road races. It's a whole lot of fun. Teaches some new skills, and those boys ride pretty hard, and it's great motivation to push yourself. Thanks.